Hey there, Benjamin Harvey here, and today I wanted to give you a little bit of a tip that may assist you in your marketing of your products and services out there to the world. Now, whether you've started a business or not, or maybe you're just thinking about what you might be able to do in order to help people out there improve the quality of their lives, one thing is for certain, and that is that you're going to have to market at some point in time. Now, the purpose of your marketing really is to attract people to your business and then inspire them to take some type of action. Now, in order for that process to be as seamless as possible and to work as effectively as it can, we have to have an understanding of psychology really at the deepest level. Now, I've been studying psychology now for over 15 years in a variety of different ways. And some of the most remarkable things I've learned about psychology is that people have hidden emotions that get stuck inside themselves based on different traumas they've had throughout their lives. And those hidden emotions actually contain the secret to what it is that drives them to take all kinds of different actions. Now, the good news is there's not an infinite number of different emotions that people are driven by. There's actually really only 6 core emotions that drive all of our behavior. And if you have a deep understanding of your clientele and your customers, and you're knowing and understanding which one of these emotions are the ones that they have trapped, you can often speak to that emotion in a way that allows them to open up and respond to the process. For example, one of the emotions that we find that people often get trapped is a sense of grief for loss. So in their life, they experience a loss of some description, and grief for that loss gets stuck inside their system. Now, that grief gets trapped in them and gets expressed in a variety of different ways. But what we have found through different processes out there is that if we get grief stuck inside our system, quite often, rather than presenting it as grief to the world, we often wear different types of masks. And anyone who's ever studied any type of art therapy or psychotherapy or shamanic practice or any of these different modalities of healing, you'll know that there is a lot done with these things called masks, as in the mask that we wear and we present to the world that affect our behavior. Now, one of these masks that people can wear is often what's known as an attacker mask. And that's where when we find ourselves in a situation that distresses us, we can often respond by attacking people, by verbally attacking them, often for not being able to think clearly or being able to think for themselves and so on and so forth. Now, if we have an understanding that often people put these masks on and they want to go out there and attack the world, what has been shown is that the reason they're attacking the world is because quite often they're not given the opportunity or they're not allowing themselves to authentically express the emotions that are trapped. So for example, when people don't allow themselves to authentically express grief of loss, having a loss in their life and being able to grieve for that in an authentic way, quite often it does show up as anger, as this frustrated anger that they express out to the world. Now, if I was going to do some marketing and I knew that a large number of people on my list often presented to the world an angry demeanor, and when they find themselves in distress situations, often attack verbally from a place of people not being able to think clearly, then that would indicate to me that deep down inside that person, they probably have a desire to express in the most authentic way grief for a loss of some description. So if I was going to create my marketing, what I can do is I can highlight that concept. I can actually talk to that angle and talk to that idea. Now, is it relevant for all businesses? Not so many products, or not every product is going to resonate with this style of marketing. But quite often, if you're out there wanting to make a difference in people's lives and improve the quality of their situation by helping them heal wounds from the past or solve problems in the present to avoid consequences in the future, then you can definitely highlight the whole concept of grief of loss. Now, there are different emotions, as I mentioned. There's 6 of them. But this one, grief of loss, I'll give you an example. If I was wanting to actually go out there and market to that concept, I could talk to that deep part of ourselves that is holding on to a wound that we haven't healed that does require some grieving to occur. So maybe in my headline or maybe my first couple of paragraphs, I could discuss the concept of what it feels like to not be able to grieve authentically. The concept of what it feels like to have lost something meaningful in our lives, but not being able to actually express our grief for that in a way that was allowing the process to heal fully and completely. Now, it's not about putting these spammy things out there and trying to attack people and make them feel like victims. It's none of that. I'm not into that in the slightest way possible. I think every human being is perfect just the way they are. And I think a lot of people want to improve the quality of their perfection, which is a wonderful thing. But what I do know is because people have not been given an opportunity to allow themselves to grieve authentically, if you highlight that inside your marketing or inside your copy, what can allow that to occur is people can start to wake up and start to listen. Because what we do know is in the attention economy, it's getting shorter and shorter. I mean, let's face it, for you to click on this video and play and watch this video, you probably sifted through numerous emails or numerous ads on Facebook or Google or whatever it is, and you're just giving me a little bit of your attention to see if I've got anything valuable to say. And if you're still watching now, it's probably because I've somehow managed to hold your attention this long. But your attention is getting shorter and shorter. In fact, if you have a look at the average length of a YouTube video clip now, it's gotten down to less than 2 minutes. But a couple of years back, it was over 3.5 minutes, which tells us we're getting less and less time. So in order for me to wake you up and get you to pay attention and get you to realize that the stuff you're doing, the choices you're making, the decisions that are happening right now in your life have long-term consequences. And if you don't change those things, you're going to end up in a place that you don't want to be in. But in order for you to listen to me and hear me, if I highlight and touch on one of these hidden emotions, straight away I'll have your attention. You'll be alert and listening and reading what I'm actually saying. So if no one pays attention to your marketing is completely useless. And one of the most effective ways to get people to pay attention is to tap into one of these 6 hidden emotions that have not been fully expressed authentically in your customer's life. So I hope that's been valuable. I've given you 1 out of the 6 here. We don't have sort of, hours and hours and hours of your attention to talk to you about all of them. But hopefully this has been enough to get you thinking a little bit differently about how you share and connect with your audience and what you do when you're looking to get a prospect to pay attention to what it is that you have to say. We've got a 1-day event coming up called Prosper from Your Passion. And at this event, I'm going to be going through all 6 of the hidden emotions, plus I'm going to be going through what's known as communication channels. So your clients have 4 different ways in which they communicate with other people. And if you know those 4 communication channels, you can literally tailor your marketing to match the exact communication channel that your audience is utilizing to communicate with the world. Not only that, there are a whole bunch of psychological needs. In fact, there are 8 psychological needs, core psychological needs of every human being. And this goes way beyond Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's different to any other psychological needs that are out there in the marketplace. It's actually driven by different parts of the brain. And so at Prosper from Your Passion, I'm going to explain what these 8 core psychological needs are, what the 4 communication channels are, and also explain to you the other 5 of the 6 hidden emotions. So when you actually go out to reach into a marketplace and communicate for the hope of wanting to make a connection and improve someone's life, people actually listen and respond to the messages you're sending out. So if you'd like to learn a little bit more about marketing, if you'd like to unpack your message, make a difference in the world, and get on your purpose, and really turn your highest service into your highest income, then please come along to Prosper from Your Passion. You can enter your details somewhere on this page. Somewhere there's a space so you can actually put your details in. The event does have a value to it. However, it is absolutely free for you to attend, but spaces do fill up, so make sure you book in as soon as possible, as in right now is probably the best time to do it. If you'd like to bring some friends along, we find that if you bring friends along, it's always a good idea to share in the learnings, but please be aware that, as I said, spaces do fill up and these events do sell out. So if you'd like to claim your free ticket, pop your details in there, and next time you're creating a piece of marketing or connecting with a person, maybe try and ask yourself the question, what is the emotion that they have hidden deep inside themselves that they're not expressing fully and authentically that you might be able to tap into? Because the second you tap into that, you'll have their attention. And if you have their attention, you can make a difference in their life. So until we meet again, share your light, live your love, and do whatever it takes to be your own best friend. I'll see you soon.